Folks, hello and welcome to Business 508 Managerial Analytics. What I wanted to do with the video, first of all, again, I want to welcome everybody. Hope you have all seen the welcome notes on the homepage in the course and also had a chance to go through the syllabus. What I wanted to do with this video is to just quickly highlight some things that you read in the syllabus, specifically related to the group project that is now a requirement as part of Business 508. What I've got in this first slide here is just an overview of the point distribution of the course. As is standard in most of our MBA courses, there's going to be a weekly discussion post. The homework assignments that we'll do in the course will be done in Excel. And so each week you'll have an Excel application that is going to be submitted. Let me also note that in each one of the module folders in the content area, there is a video tutorial or a series of video tutorials that will help you get started with those assignments. Hopefully you will find those helpful. And I think those are probably at least a 75% solution on how to get through each homework assignment each week. And then let's see, and I'm going to detail the project here in a moment. And then there's going to be two exams in the course. One at the end of week 6 and one at the end of week 8. The course is broke out in 3 blocks: descriptive analytics, predictive analytics, and prescriptive analytics. If you think about the words descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive and how you would use those in your daily life, they are really kind of have the same application here in business analytics. So think about those as we go through the course here. I think you'll see the benefit and the uniqueness of each, and obviously there will be some dependencies as well. Just quickly here, this first couple weeks, week 1 and week 2, really just a good rigorous reminder of what you would have studied in a undergraduate statistics course. Again, a bit of probability and statistics, and then again, based on the importance of Excel, there's some Excel discussion in there as well. I say the first 2 weeks of the course are they're probably a bit slower than what you're going to experience through weeks 3 through 8. But the reason that we have done this is, number one, to make sure everybody is regrounded in the idea of probability and statistics, and it also to give obviously that time individually, but then as we start looking at the project, to make sure that we assemble the groups and everybody understands how or what the project entails and how each group is going to pursue their product to conclude the course. Weeks 3 through 6, we'll spend some time in predictive analytics, and that really boils down to 4 different analytical techniques: linear regression, forecasting, data mining, and computer simulation that we'll do in Excel. And those are considered to be predictive techniques based on the data that you have and the relationships among the variables. But we'll talk more about that as we get going. And then to conclude the course, weeks 7 and 8, linear optimization, and really kind of a nice broad array of decision analysis techniques that we study in week 8. And again, the difference here being between the predictive and the prescriptive blocks is really the data, the relationships among the variables, and what those differences might be. We'll talk about that a little bit more as we get towards those weeks of the course. And just as a reminder, there will be a test after the predictive analytics block and also a test after the prescriptive analytics block. So here is, and this is outlined again, or really kind of just a reminder from the syllabus about the group project. The group project consists of 4 submissions, which happen during week 2, week 2, 5, 6, and 7. And then you'll produce an executive report during week 8 and then conclude with a video, which is really sort of obviously just a summary of the written executive report. This first deliverable up here during week 2, there's actually going to be 2 deliverables. You'll notice that what I've asked you to do is once the teams have gotten together and you understand the course from a a presentation standpoint and what it is that needs to be accomplished. First thing I want you to do is I want you to go out and find a company that has gone through effectively what you're going to do in your project, and that is they have identified a business problem. They've established a couple research questions that they're going to investigate with some data, certain analytical techniques. Upon the data and analysis, obviously you will have some results from that effort, and then you will develop strategy and implementation to address the business problem. So that is a very a structured approach that most companies that you will find that are using data to help them solve business problems. That is exactly the sequence of activities that they're going through. And so what I want you all to do is I want you to go out and find a company. There's plenty of articles on the internet that will help you sort of understand the project. But what I want you to do is I want you to read the article, do a quick summary, and I want to make sure that everybody understands how this project is going to unfold. What I don't want you to do in this first deliverable here, this article summary, what I don't want you to do is go to Amazon's webpage and get, find a link that says when we have a business problem, this is what we do. We might use one of several different techniques based on the data we have. That's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is a company that's actually gone out and solved a problem based on the identification of a specific problem. They have collected data, they have analyzed it appropriately, they have analytical results, and that has driven strategy and implementation. That's what I'm looking for in this first deliverable. And then, let's see, during week 2, there's a second submittal, and that's really kind of the project roadmap. I'll discuss, or that's discussed in the rubric. And then I'm also going to show you a template that I've put together for you that I think will be helpful as you start collecting all this data for for your analysis, your strategy and implementation. And then once you have collected all this information during these 4 incremental submissions, you should have pretty much already done the executive report. So week 8 is really pretty simple to finish up that report, produce a video, take your final exam, and you'll be all set. I won't, this again, just kind of some recommended activities that will happen during weeks 1 through 8 as you start addressing these deliverables. The thing I want to conclude with here on this slide is it would be most excellent for all of us if during, say, the middle of week 3 that everybody has found the data that they are going to use as really kind of the basis for your analysis, results, and how you're going to drive strategy and implementation to address this business problem. If you do not have data by the middle of week 3, then we need to get together and figure out how we're going to find your data. So just keep that in mind as you go through the first couple weeks of the course. What I've shown here is I'm just going to highlight this real quick, and then I'm going to flip over to the template that I've put together for you all to collect these incremental reports. But this is the structure of the executive report. 5 sections, which is a typical format here. Once you have gone through and you have really produced the report, what I want up front is an executive summary. Again, as I've said here, the premium on this is really summarizing everything that you have done and how you do that in 150 words. If you've ever heard of the elevator speech, if you see the CEO and the CEO asks how the project's gone, in 150 words, what are you going to tell him and her? Really less than that. But a written executive summary, and then again, based on the incremental submissions that you are going to send me, really kind of an overview of the problem, the data that you've collected, the analysis, the results, and how you're going to drive strategy and implementation to address the problem. Let me kind of go down to this bumper sticker here that concludes this slide. If you look at what I show you here, I say problem statement, research questions, data, analytical methods, results, strategy, and implementation. The premium on this project is being able to go from problem statement to strategy implementation and showing a clear link which goes through the data that you have collected and the analytical methods that you have used to address the research questions which address the problem statement. So if you look at this linkage, if you look at problem statement and research questions, this is the heart of your first, really of your project roadmap. The data, the analytical methods, and the results are really the heartbeat of your second submission, which is your data analysis. Once you understand what is in your data, the results that you have, that should drive the strategy to address the research question and the problem statement. And then once you have developed strategy, how are you going to implement your strategy? And that's something I will just mention to you right now, that there is a distinction between business strategy and business strategy implementation. And I want to make sure that everybody's clear on that as you go through the project. Let's see, what I have done here, I want to show you a second document. And this document is posted. If you go into the discussion area, there's a general discussion board. At the top, the next link below that is a discussion board for each of the project teams. Right now, there are 5 teams, 3 individuals in each team, and each of the 5 groups has a link in there where you will begin your discussion on how to kind of approach the project. What I've already posted in there for you is this template, and let me just quickly go through this. What you see up front was what I had in that slide, and again, this is just to remind you the structure of the final executive report. That just to kind of remind you, and again, the premium on showing a clear linkage from problem statement to strategy implementation. I've got some discussion in here for you. I won't read this to you here, but this will remind you to take a good look at this, and you should be able to compile all 4 of the incremental submissions in one document, so that when you finish with the 4th submission, that you'll have everything that you need in a single document, and then you can sort of repackage it in this format for your executive report. So I hope this template makes things pretty simple to get to week 8. First thing you'll need here is you'll need a cover page. Make sure you review the APA manual on how to put together a cover sheet for a written report of this type. Then what I've done in these last 4 or 5 pages, I have taken the rubric for the project roadmap, kind of laid it in here so that just as a reminder. And then what I'm recommending for the project roadmap, 4 paragraphs here. Again, I'm not going to read these to you, but this is, I think, a good structure to put this together. Notice there's some hyperlinks here. If you say where I say, how to write a problem statement. This is just an example from the internet. Please feel free to go do your own research on that. And then how do you write research questions? Again, so just some basic guidance here to make sure that we understand what a problem statement is, and then how to, based on that, how we write research questions. Let's see, I think that's good for the project roadmap. And then during week 5, you have your data analysis and results. I understand, and let me just be upfront. I understand that this may, this report may leak into week 6 and week 7. There's no problem with that. Just continue to update it as you go forward. And again, I've just given you some hints here on how to craft this and put it together. Then you get to week 6. This is going to be based on the problem statement, research questions, data and analysis. How are you going to drive strategy based on what it is you want to accomplish and what your data is telling you? And I've been very, if we use the idea of prescriptive, I have prescribed how I would like for you to put this together in the report. And again, I won't read it to you here, but I want to make sure that everybody knows that the template is out there, and make sure you take a look at it. And then there is some ideas on, writing a strategy statement, and then describing the difference between strategy and implementation. And then finally, in week 7, once you have developed the strategy or the strategic objectives, you should be able to come behind it very simply and put together the implementation. So I hope this is helpful, and please let me know if there's anything I can do to clarify this. Thanks.